June 2025. Rider's Guide. Everything you need to know to use OC Access. Table of Contents. Guide to OC Access. Page 2. Definition of ADA Paratransit Service, OC Access. Page 5. Eligibility Determination Process. Page 8. Service Information. Page 12. Requesting a Standard Service Ride. Page 19. Waiting to be picked up. Page 24. During the ride. Page 26. Subscription Service. Page 29. Canceling a ride, no-shows, and suspension. Page 33. Safely riding OC Access. Page 38. Driver Assistance Responsibilities. Page 48. Rider Conduct Policy. Page 51. Additional OC Access Information. Page 56. Sharing your opinion about OC Access. Page 60. More transportation options in Orange County. Page 63. Guide to OC Access. OCTA observes the following holidays and will be closed. Some services may operate under holiday hours: New Year's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day. OC Access Resources. OC Access Reservations and Information. If you are deaf, hard of hearing, or have a speech disability, please dial 711 to access Telecommunications Relay Services, TRS. Phone 877-628-2232. Hours 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, and holidays. OC Access Ride Status and Cancellations. Phone 877-628-2232. OC Access Eligibility. Phone 714-560-5956. Hours 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Fax 714-560-5914. Email accesseligibility@octa.net. Additional resources. OCTA Customer Information Center. Phone 714-636-7433. TDD 711. Hours 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. holidays. OC Bus Reduced Fare. OC Access riders receive reduced fare on OC Bus. Phone 714-560-5596. Hours 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. Same-day taxi. Phone 877-628-2232. Hours 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week, including holidays. OCTA Lost and Found. Phone 714-560-5934. Hours Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and 1:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Friday, pickup by appointment only. For calls outside of normal business hours, please leave a voice message and a representative will return your call. All customers must have a confirmed claim number before visiting Lost and Found. Transit Connection Newsletter, audio version. Phone 714-560-5608. A recorded version of the Transit Connection newsletter is available 24 hours a day. The Transit Connection newsletter is recorded in English and Spanish and contains useful tips and information about OC Access. Additional languages available upon request. Definition of ADA Paratransit Service. OC Access is part of the comprehensive public transportation system serving Orange County. OC Access is a shared ride complimentary paratransit service of Orange County Transportation Authority, OCTA, in compliance with the provisions of the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, ADA, and the final rule for 49 FFR Parts 27, 37, and 38, issued by the U.S. Department of Transportation, DOT, in the 9/6/1991 Federal Register. OC Access is provided to people with disabilities who, because of their disability, are unable to independently ride fixed-route bus or train services all or some of the time. As a shared ride service, riders should expect that other riders will be on the vehicle for most, if not all, of their rides. ADA Paratransit is a shared ride public transportation service provided within a 3/4-mile radius of fixed route service. A curb-to-curb service, base level. Comparable to the level of service, service area, operating hours, etc., and travel time provided on OC Bus. OC Bus service changes 4 times in the year, in February, May, August, and November. This change impacts all modes of service, including OC Bus and OC Access. OCTA will make an effort to inform the riders of the upcoming service changes. For most up-to-date information regarding the OC Bus service, please visit us at www.octa.net. ADA Paratransit is not a private service without other riders on the vehicle, a shopping service allowing unlimited bags and packages, a medical transportation service, qualifying for OC Access. 49 CFR Part 37, Section 37.123 of the ADA defines the standards and sets forth the minimum requirements for eligibility for complimentary paratransit service. Eligibility is based on a person's individual functional abilities and limitations, not a specific age, diagnosis, or disability. Under the ADA, complimentary paratransit service is not intended to be a comprehensive system of transportation for individuals with disabilities, and simply having a disability or multiple disabilities does not, in and of itself, entitle a person to be eligible. Eligibility Determination Process. 49 CFR, Part 37, Section 37.125 of the ADA allows OC Access to have an eligibility determination process that includes the completion of a paper application and in-person interview with a functional assessment. OC Access provides transportation to and from the Eligibility Center free of charge. Please note that the entire process, including travel to and from the appointment, varies but can take 3 to 4 hours. To schedule an OC Access in-person assessment, applicants may call OC Access Eligibility at 714-560-5956, extension 2. Preparing for the eligibility assessment. Applicants are encouraged to bring their mobility devices, walking aids, and/or service animals that will be used on OC Access vehicles. Eligibility Determination. The applicant will be notified in writing about their eligibility within 21 days following the completion of the in-person assessment. Applicants approved for OC Access will receive a unique identification number for use during ride reservations. Presumptive eligibility application process. If the determination process is not completed within 21 calendar days, in accordance with ADA requirements, the applicant will be granted presumptive eligibility until a final decision is made. Eligibility period. Eligibility periods range from 3 months to a maximum of 5 years. The exact eligibility period is determined on a case-by-case basis and based on the results of the functional assessment of an individual's ability to independently use fixed-route services in accordance with ADA paratransit eligibility criteria. Recertification. The rider will receive a letter notifying them that their eligibility is up for renewal 2 months prior to expiration. Failure to return the form letter in a timely manner may result in loss of service. Appeals process. Individuals who have been found not eligible, conditional, trip by trip, or temporarily eligible for OC Access have the right to appeal their eligibility determination by contacting OC Access Eligibility. Requests for an appeal must be made within 60 calendar days from the date the Notice of Eligibility Determination was issued. Upon receipt of a request to appeal, OC Access will contact the individual to schedule an appeal hearing within 30 days. Individuals must be available to participate at a mutually agreed-upon date, location, if applicable, and time. Upon request, transportation is provided to the appeal hearing at no charge. Appeals decision. OC Access will advise individuals in writing of its decision concerning their appeal within 30 days of the hearing. The Appeals Committee is a 3-person committee consisting of individuals not involved in the original eligibility determination. Individuals will have the opportunity to be represented at the hearing and are able to present information and arguments. The decision of the Appeals Committee is final. Presumptive eligibility appeals. OC Access is not required to provide transportation service to an individual pending the determination of an appeal. However, if OC Access has not made a decision within 30 days from the appeal hearing date, the individual will be given presumptive eligibility of OC Access from that time until and unless a decision to deny the appeal is issued. Service types: standard and subscription services. OC Access provides 2 types of ADA paratransit transportation services. Standard service. Riders must call to reserve rides. Subscription service. Rider is approved for ongoing service without the need to make a reservation. Limited availability. Days and hours of operation. 49 CFR Part 37, Section 37.131E of the ADA requires OC Access to operate on the same days and hours as those of OC Bus. Please call OC Access reservations for service hours in a particular area. OC Access riders should be aware that service changes are made 4 times per year. Updated service information can be found at www.octa.net. Service information. Ride purpose and limits. 49 CFR Part 37, Section 37.131D of the ADA prohibits OC Access from applying restrictions or priorities on the reason or destination of a ride. There are no limits on the number of rides that can be made using ADA paratransit service. A ride will be scheduled if it begins and ends within the OC Access service area and hours of operation. Curb-to-curb assistance. The definition of curb-to-curb assistance is that the rider will be picked up at the closest curb to the pickup location and will be taken to the closest curb of the drop-off location. This is OC Access's base level of service. OC Access will only service locations that can be safely and legally accessed by drivers. Door-to-door assistance. 49 CFR, Part 37, Section 37.129A of the ADA requires that OC Access provide ADA paratransit-eligible persons origin-to-destination service, or door-to-door service. For those requiring assistance beyond the curb due to their disability, drivers will assist riders as far as their door if it is safe for the driver to do so. Riders are encouraged to share their need for permanent door-to-door assistance during their eligibility assessment. However, riders may also request door-to-door assistance while making a ride reservation or at the ride origin and/or destination. For all requests for door-to-door assistance, the driver will determine if it is safe to provide such assistance. In order to receive door-to-door assistance, the following conditions must be met. The first exterior door at the building's entrance must be no more than 50 feet from the vehicle. The driver must be able to maintain sight of vehicle at all times. There must be a safe and accessible path of travel from the vehicle to the first exterior door. No steps or stairs are allowed. There must be a safe and legal place to park on a roadway or parking lot. The parked vehicle must not block or impede traffic. If any of the above conditions are not met, the location is considered non-serviceable for door-to-door assistance, and the driver will instead provide curb-to-curb service for that location. Fares. The base fare for OC Access is $3.60 per rider, 19 years of age or older, for each one-way ride. Fares must always be paid in full and can be paid using cash or coupons. Per 49 CFR, Part 37, Section 37.131C of the ADA, OC Access may not charge more than twice the fare that would be charged using OC Bus. The information below will help riders better understand the OC Access fare policy. Riders must pay the full fare when boarding the vehicle. Drivers are unable to provide change. Riders paying less than the full fare may not be transported and will be subject to the rider conduct policy. Fare table. Eligible rider. Adult, 19 years and older, is $3.60. Eligible rider, youth, 18 years and younger, is no charge. Personal care attendant is no charge. Guest, 6 years and older, is $3.60. Guest, child, 5 years and younger, is no charge. OC Access coupon sales. Order in person. At the OCTA store located at 600 South Main Street, Orange, California, 92863, Cross Street, La Veta. 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Closed major holidays. Acceptable forms of payment include cash, personal check, money order, American Express, Visa, or MasterCard debit or credit cards. Or at a neighborhood grocery store, including Vons, Pavilions, Ralph's, and Northgate markets during their regular hours of operation. Past sales locations can be found at www.octa.net/PDF/passloc.pdf. PDF. Each market's acceptable forms of payment vary. It is recommended that riders call ahead to confirm that the OC Access Pass and desired payment method is available. Order by phone. Call 714-560-5932. 8 a.m. through 2 p.m. Monday to Friday. Closed major holidays. Acceptable forms of payment include American Express, Visa, or MasterCard, debit or credit cards. Order online. Order online 24 hours a day at https://passsales.octa.net. Acceptable forms of payment include American Express, Visa, or MasterCard debit or credit cards. Orders placed online or by phone are subject to shipping and handling charges. Riders are encouraged to purchase OC Access coupons in person. Personal care attendants. A personal care attendant helps an individual with a disability meet their personal needs. Personal care attendants may be an employee of the rider, a relative, a friend, or a care provider. Please inform the reservation operator of the presence of a personal care attendant when scheduling a ride. As is required by 49 CFR Part 37, Section 37.131 C.3 of the ADA, one personal care attendant may ride free when accompanying an eligible rider on OC Access. Guests. One guest in addition to a personal care attendant is permitted to accompany a rider. Additional guests may be added on a space-available basis. However, additional guests may not be guaranteed. Each guest is required to pay the full fare of $3.60. Children or youth. If space is available, up to 3 children, 5 years old and younger, may ride free with each OC Access eligible fare-paying rider. Per California law, children 8 years of age or shorter than 4 feet 9 inches tall must use a car or booster seat. OC Access does not provide car or booster seats. Drivers will, however, assist riders with installing a car seat or booster seat upon request. Note: when making a reservation, riders must share when they are traveling with a personal care attendant, guest, child, service animal, oxygen tank, packages/bags, using a wheelchair, etc. This helps ensure that space is available in the vehicle. Requesting a standard service ride. 49 CFR Part 37, Section 37.131 B.4 of the ADA allows reservations for OC Access to be scheduled 1 to 3 days in advance of the day of travel. OC Access reservation requests can be made by telephone or by using the OC Access online booking system. For each round trip, riders must make separate one-way rides. Drivers do not wait for riders at destinations, even if it is just a quick ride, like dropping off mail at a post office. Negotiating ride times. 49 CFR Part 37, Section 37.131 B.2 of the ADA allows for a negotiated pickup time within 1 hour before or after the requested pickup time. Due to the large volume of OC Access rides requested, OC Access is not always able to assign riders the exact pickup or arrival time that they request. OC Access makes every effort to offer ride times as close as possible to the rider's requested pickup or arrival time. Busiest time of day. When reserving a ride, OC Access riders are encouraged to consider the busiest times of day, as they may experience significant travel delays. Delays can be unpredictable and are often due to more vehicles being on the road, accidents, and construction. These delays may impact the services provided by OC Access. Days and times when riders may experience delays. Mornings, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Afternoons, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Required reservation information. Riders must have the following information ready when making each ride reservation. OC Access Identification Number. The travel date. The exact street address of the desired pickup location. The exact street address of the desired destination. Desired pickup time or desired arrival time. Riders may only choose one. The best contact number to be reached for each ride. If rider will be traveling with a personal care attendant, guest, or child or youth. Type of mobility aid the rider, personal care attendant, guest, or child or youth will bring, if any, such as a walker, wheelchair, or scooter, or service animal. It is recommended that riders make a note of the reservation operator's name, date, and pickup time of your reservation. Making a reservation. Telephone reservations. 49 CFR, Part 37, Section 37.131b1 of the ADA requires that OC Access service reservations hours be consistent with OCTA's standard office hours at a minimum. OC Access ride requests are taken Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Saturday, Sunday, and holidays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. by calling OCTA. AD at 877-628-2232. Online booking system. The online system gives riders another option to book, cancel, or check their OC Access rides from anywhere using a computer, smartphone, or tablet. To launch the online booking system, visit https://ocaccessonline.octa.net. Riders must enter their OC Access identification number under Client ID, then their unique password. When using the online booking system, riders can log into the system at any time to book rides 2 or 3 days in advance. If booking the day before, the rider must log in and complete their booking by 5 p.m. Cancel previously booked rides. Check on rides. Review previously booked rides. The online booking system will not assist with the following. Book subscription rides. Add restrictions. Change or add a mobility device. To obtain a password or to recover a lost identification number or password, please call OC Access Eligibility at 714-560-5956 or email accesseligibility@octa.net. Waiting to be picked up. 30-minute pickup window. The reservation operator will provide the rider a 30-minute pickup window, for example, 6:45 a.m. to 7:15 a.m. The vehicle may arrive at any time within this 30-minute period. As a result, the rider must be ready and waiting in a visible location at the start of the pickup window and wait the entire 30 minutes or until the vehicle arrives. The graphic shows the 30-minute pickup window, with a pickup window of 6:45 a.m. to 7:15 a.m. Driver wait time. It is important for the rider to be at the designated pickup location at the scheduled pickup time. The driver will wait a minimum of 5 minutes upon arrival at the curb or designated pickup point. The driver is not permitted to wait while the rider conducts business at their destination. The rider will need to make a reservation in advance for their return ride. Pickup time and driver wait time requirements also will apply to the return ride. During the ride. Checking on a pickup. If the vehicle does not arrive within the 30-minute pickup window, the rider may check on the status by calling 877-628-2232. Additionally, riders can log on to the OC Access online website by visiting https://ocaccessonline.octa.net. Please do not call to check the status of a pickup until the 30-minute pickup window has expired. Travel time. OC Access is comparable to the level of service, service area, operating hours, etc., and travel time provided on OC Bus as required by the Department of Transportation's DOT Rules and Regulations 37.121. ADA paratransit travel time is determined by considering the equivalent ride if taken on OC Bus. This includes the time it takes to walk to the bus stop, wait for the bus, travel time on the bus, and walking to the final destination. Many rides on OC Bus include transfers, and therefore, travel time also includes the additional wait times when transferring from one OC Bus route to another. 49 CFR Part 37, Section 37.131 F3 I.C. of the ADA prohibits OC Access from having a substantial number of trips with excessive trip lengths. As suggested in the FTA ADA Circular C4710.1, Section 8.5.5, OCTA analyzes a sample of trip lengths periodically to ensure that trip lengths are comparable to using OC Bus. When planning a ride, please be aware that the ride will likely be shared with other OC Access riders, and picking up and/or dropping off other riders will occur during most or all rides. Therefore, riders cannot expect to be taken directly to their destination. The following are estimates on how much time a ride may take when riding OC Access depending upon time of day, location, and traffic patterns. 1 to 10 miles, estimated travel time, 30 minutes to 1.5 hours plus. 11 to 20 miles, estimated travel time, 1 hour to 2 hours plus. 21 to 30 miles, estimated travel time, 1.5 hours to 2.5 hours plus. 30 plus miles, estimated travel time, 2 hours to 3 hours plus. Changing drop-off location or requesting detours. Drivers are not allowed to change a drop-off location or take alternate routes to a destination. OC Access is origin-to-destination service, and the driver is required to service pickup and drop-off locations detailed in their route information. Subscription service. Qualifying for subscription services. Per 49 CFR, Part 37, Section 37.133 of the ADA, subscription service may be available for riders who travel consistently on specific days of the week at the same time and to and from the same destination. The purpose of subscription service is to enable OC Access to create efficient routes for riders who have similar travel patterns. As a result, riders who are granted subscription service can enjoy the convenience of having their rides automatically scheduled without having to call OC Access to schedule each ride. Before applying for subscription service, it is important for riders to understand the following information. OC Access complies with federal regulations regarding the total number of subscription rides scheduled. A request for subscription service is not automatically filled. Subscriptions will be offered on a space-available basis. Riders must have a consistent travel history without excessive no-shows or cancellations. When a subscription is requested, OC Access schedulers will negotiate within the ADA guidelines to arrange effective and efficient service for all riders. The full fare for subscription service rides is $3.60 per rider for each one-way trip. All required OC Access fares must be paid in full when boarding. Rides must be canceled at least 1 hour before the pickup time. Subscription rides may be periodically reviewed for efficiency and feasibility. Subscription service may be periodically changed due to OC Bus service revisions. If a rider cancels more than 50% of their scheduled subscription rides in a calendar month and has at least 10 subscription trips during that month, their subscription may be canceled. Applying for subscription services. To request subscription service, riders may call 877-628-2232. Riders must be prepared to provide the following information: OC Access Identification Number, the travel days and times, the exact street address of the desired pickup location, the exact street address of the desired destination, desired pickup time or desired arrival time. Riders may only choose one. The best contact number to be reached for each ride. If rider will be traveling with a personal care attendant, guest, or children or youth. Type of mobility aid the rider will bring, if any, such as a walker, wheelchair or scooter, or service animal. Changing subscription service. Subscription service rides may not be changed. If a rider needs to travel on a different day and/or time, or from a different origin and/or to a different destination, the subscription ride must be canceled, and the rider must schedule a standard service ride. Suspending subscription service. Riders can put a subscription ride on hold for up to 1 month. When ready to resume service, riders must call OC Access Reservations at 877-628-2232 7 days in advance to reinstate the subscription. If a hold is needed for longer than 1 month, riders may be asked to reapply for subscription service. Such a determination will be made on a case-by-case basis. If a rider receives a service suspension, the subscription will be canceled. Canceling a ride, no-shows, and suspension. Canceling a ride. If unable to take a scheduled ride, riders must cancel the ride by calling OC Access as soon as possible. In order to avoid a no-show, rides must be canceled at least 1 hour before the pickup time by calling 877-628-2232 or using the online booking system by visiting https://ocaccessonline.octa.net. No-shows policy. 49 CFR Part 37, Section 37.125H of the ADA allows OC Access to be suspended for a rider who establishes a pattern or practice of no-shows. If no-shows exceed 10% of a rider's overall scheduled monthly rides, accrued 3 or more no-shows in a calendar month, and has scheduled at least 10 trips that month, services may be suspended. Definition of a no-show: a ride that is canceled less than 1 hour before the scheduled pickup time, also called a late cancellation. Canceling a ride with a driver upon arrival of the vehicle. Missing a scheduled ride when the vehicle arrived within the 30-minute window. If the rider is not at the scheduled pickup location at the scheduled time, the driver will wait for 5 minutes before reporting the rider as a no-show, missing a scheduled ride. Circumstances beyond a rider's control. OC Access understands that there are times when a rider misses a ride due to a medical emergency or other circumstance beyond their control. Riders have the right to appeal or dispute all no-show decisions. No-shows that have been identified as invalid will not count towards suspension of service. Warnings. Rider no-shows are tracked each month. However, it is the rider's responsibility to track their no-shows to ensure that they are kept to an acceptable level. It is also the rider's responsibility to ensure that OC Access is properly informed of any change in mailing address to ensure that all correspondence is received in a timely manner. A warning suspension letter will be sent to the rider after meeting all the above conditions for that same month. The letter will remind and inform the rider of the no-show policy, the appeals process, and that their OC Access privileges are in jeopardy of being suspended. The information below details no-show related penalties within a 12-month period. First and second no-show or late cancellation within a calendar month. Action taken? None. Third no-show or late cancellation within a calendar month and all no-show conditions have been met. Action taken. A warning suspension letter will be sent to the rider's address of record. This notification will advise the rider of the OC Access intent to suspend the rider from the service for a period of 7 days for the first offense. Riders may submit a request to excuse any no-show or late cancellation that they believe to be incorrect or beyond their control within 15 days of the date of the warning or suspension letter. To submit a request, contact OC Access Reservations and Information at 877-628-2232, extension 5. In writing at OC Access, attention to OC Access Eligibility, P.O. Box 14184, Orange, California 92863, or by email at accesseligibility@octa.net. If there is no response to the warning or suspension letter within 15 days, action taken, a suspension will take place 30 days from the date of the warning or suspension letter. OC Access will provide 30 days from the date of the warning or suspension letter to allow the rider to make alternative transportation arrangements. Penalties. The no-show suspension policy dictates the following no-show suspension outcomes within a 12-month period. First offense, 7-day suspension. Second offense, 14-day suspension. Third offense, 21-day suspension. Fourth offense, 28-day suspension maximum. Appeals. Suspensions due to no-shows may be appealed with a formal appeals board. Complete information about the appeals process will be included with the service suspension letter. The rider will have 15 days to appeal the suspension and will receive notification within 30 days of the appeal decision before a suspension takes effect. OC Access Safely Riding. Seat belts. Drivers are responsible for ensuring that seat belts are properly fastened. Riders and their companions who refuse to wear a seatbelt may be denied service. Seatbelts must remain fastened until the vehicle arrives at the destination and comes to a complete stop. Mobility devices, wheelchairs and scooters. 49 CFR, Part 37, Section 37.165b of the ADA requires that OC Access transport riders using mobility devices. The ADA defines a wheelchair as having 3 or more wheels usable indoors, designed or modified to assist with mobility, and manual or battery-powered. The OC Access vehicle lift and ramp capabilities are 1,000 pounds and can accommodate wheelchairs up to 30 inches wide by 52 inches long. OC Access may be unable to transport a rider in a mobility device that exceeds the lift manufacturer's dimensions and design load. Riders will, however, have the opportunity to attempt to board an OC Access vehicle in order to objectively determine if the wheelchair, scooter, etc. is too large and/or heavy to board safely. If the rider is able to board and fit safely in the securement area, services will be provided. For rider safety and comfort, the following guidance and procedures must be met. Riders using wheelchairs must wait for the driver's assistance and follow instructions for entering the vehicle. It is strongly recommended that wheelchairs or scooters back onto the lift platform. It is strongly recommended that brakes be locked while on the lift and when secured on the vehicle. It is strongly recommended that a rider using a manual wheelchair have attached footrests. Mandatory wheelchair and scooter securement. It is the driver's responsibility to ensure that mobility devices are fully and properly secured. Mobility devices are required to be secured by the 4-point tie-down system at all times during the ride. Drivers are required to secure the lap and shoulder belts to ensure rider safety. If a rider refuses mobility device securement or use of seat belts, service may be denied. Transferring to a seat. Riders who may wish to transfer from a wheelchair or scooter to a seat must be booked as a rider using a wheelchair. Drivers are required to secure all wheelchairs and cannot fold and stow wheelchairs on the vehicle. Additionally, due to capacity constraints, riders may be required to ride in their wheelchairs instead of transferring to a seat. It is unsafe for OC Access drivers to assist riders with transferring to a seat. Scooters in particular have a high center of gravity and are prone to tipping, even when secured. It is recommended that riders transfer to a seat. Using a new wheelchair, scooter, or walker. OC Access will keep a record of the mobility device and/or aid used at the certification assessment. When there is a change in the device used by a rider, OC Access eligibility must be contacted to report the new device. Having an accurate record of the mobility device will help ensure that OC Access sends the appropriate vehicle. Ambulatory riders. Ambulatory riders are those that are able to walk under their own control or use a mobility aid such as a cane, walker, crutches, etc. Ambulatory riders may request use of the vehicle lift to board when needed. Mobility aids, walker, canes, crutches, etc. Riders using mobility aids are accommodated on the same basis as those using wheelchairs. Riders must ensure that their mobility aid does not create an unsafe situation on OC Access vehicles, including not blocking aisles, doorways, or occupying a seat. The use and placement of mobility devices cannot create legitimate safety concerns or be seriously disruptive to the safe operation of the vehicle. Devices that are not primarily designed or intended to assist persons with mobility disabilities cannot be accommodated. Medical devices, oxygen tanks, and medication. 49 CFR Part 37, Section 37.167H of the ADA requires that OC Access allow medical devices and oxygen tanks on OC Access vehicles. 2 oxygen tanks up to 18 inches long or a single tank up to 36 inches long are allowed. Riders who require oxygen or medication at regular intervals should bring what is needed to keep them safe during a delayed ride. Drivers are prohibited from operating or adjusting oxygen tanks or administering medication. Should such assistance be necessary, the rider must make arrangements to travel with a personal care attendant. Bags, folding carts, strollers, and carry-ons. Riders are limited to only 2 bags up to 12 inches wide by 7 inches deep by 17 inches high and must fit on the rider's lap or under the seat. Bulky items that fill a seat or are a safety hazard are not permitted on an OC Access vehicle. All items must be under full control of the rider or their personal care attendant and/or guest at all times. In addition, riders must comply with the following. No items that are wet, leaking, or considered hazardous will be allowed. No large bags of recycled cans or other materials will be allowed. Riders may also travel with folding carts and strollers, but they must be folded and kept away from any path of travel, such as the aisles, and must always remain in the rider's control. In addition, when a rider uses a folding cart, stroller, or carry-on, they must comply with the following guidelines. Cannot exceed 30 inches tall, 18 inches wide, and 18 inches deep, not including wheels and handle. Cannot contain loads which exceed 2 bags up to 12 inches wide by 7 inches deep by 17 inches high. Items cannot hang off the exterior of the cart. Cannot block aisles, any doors, or take seats. Must be attended and held firmly at all times. Note: riders with strollers must remove the child and collapse the stroller. Per California law, children 8 years of age or shorter than 4 feet 9 inches tall must use a car or booster seat. OC Access does not provide car or booster seats. Drivers will, however, assist riders with installing a car seat or booster seat upon request. Additional shopping carts, bags, and parcels carried by a personal care attendant and/or guest cannot be accommodated. Drivers are not required to assist riders with packages or shopping carts. Animals on OC Access. Service animals. 49 CFR Part 37, Section 37.167D of the ADA states that service animals are allowed in all OC Access vehicles and facilities. It also defines a service animal as any guide dog, signal dog, or other animal individually trained to work or perform tasks for an individual with disability, including, but not limited to, guiding individuals with impaired vision, alerting individuals with impaired hearing to intruders or sounds, providing minimal protection or rescue work, pulling a wheelchair, fetching dropped items. If traveling with a newly acquired service animal, riders must contact OC Access eligibility in order to add a service animal to their profile. In addition, riders may be asked the following questions by drivers and OC Access staff to assist in identifying service animals. Is the animal a service animal required because of a disability? What task has the animal been trained to perform? Riders refusing to answer either of these questions when asked will not be allowed on OC Access vehicles. Please be aware of the following service animal requirements. For the safety and comfort of the driver and other riders, service animals are required to be clean and well-groomed. Service animals must be leashed or harnessed at all times, unless the leash or harness prevents the service animal from completing the task it was trained to provide. Service animals must be under the complete control of the rider they serve at all times. A service animal not in full control is considered to be creating a seriously disruptive atmosphere and may be denied services. Service animals that act in an aggressive manner, growling, barking uncontrollably, lunging at riders or other animals, etc., are considered to be creating a seriously disruptive atmosphere and may be denied services. Service animals cannot occupy seats and must always remain on the floor, making sure not to block the aisle, path of travel, or access doors or lift. Riders are encouraged to bring a blanket for service animals since vehicle floors may be hot. For safety reasons, drivers are not permitted to handle service animals. OC Access may refuse to transport service animals that are deemed to pose a direct threat to the health or safety of drivers or other riders, create a seriously disruptive atmosphere, or are otherwise not under the rider's control. Pets. Per the ADA, emotional support and comfort animals are not service animals as they have not been trained to perform a task. Therefore, emotional support, comfort animals, and pets are not allowed on OC Access vehicles unless they are in an enclosed carrier at all times. Please be aware that the driver cannot assist with loading or unloading the carrier. Reasonable modification of policy. 49 CFR, Part 37, Section 37.169, and Appendix E to Part 37 of the ADA requires the OC Access to make reasonable modifications to its policies, practices, and procedures where necessary to avoid discrimination based on a disability, or where the individual with a disability would otherwise be unable to use OC Access programs or activities. There is no additional cost to request or receive an approved reasonable modification. OC Access may grant a timely request for a reasonable modification, provided that the request is within the power of OC Access. Will not fundamentally alter the nature of its services. Will not constitute a direct threat to the health and safety of others. Will not require the commission of an illegal act. Requesting a reasonable modification. Rider requests for reasonable modification for an OC Access eligible rider may be made during the eligibility assessment, when making the ride reservation, or at the time of service. Please note that accessible vehicles will be sent to riders who use wheelchairs and scooters. Specific vehicle requests, such as requesting a particular make or model, will be denied as it would represent a fundamental alteration to the nature of the service. However, requests for accessible vehicles from riders who have difficulty using steps, including those who use canes, crutches, walkers, or other assistive devices, may be accommodated through the reasonable modification process. Requests for a reasonable modification may also be made in advance by completing the OCTA Reasonable Modification Accommodation Request form and sending it to OCTA's Federal Compliance Officer or Reasonable Modification Coordinator via email at adainquiries@octa.net or via mail at 550 South Main Street, Orange, CA 92863-1584. The form and entire reasonable modification policy can be found at www.octa.net/about-OCTA/ADA/overview. Riders requesting a reasonable modification via the Reasonable Modification Accommodation Request form will receive a determination regarding the request as soon as reasonably possible. Driver Assistance Responsibilities. Providing a reasonable level of assistance. 49 CFR, Part 37, Section 37.165 of the ADA requires that OC access drivers be trained and required to provide a reasonable level of assistance to riders. This means that OC access drivers will assist riders as needed or requested as long as the assistance does not create an unsafe situation for the driver or other riders. Here are some examples of how drivers assist OC access riders. Boarding and/or exiting the vehicle. Assistance to and from the curb of their destination or point of origin. Use of the lift and other equipment. Securing wheelchairs and rider seatbelts in the vehicle. Drivers will not lift or carry a rider, nor will they accompany a rider to or from locations more than 50 feet away from the vehicle. If such assistance is required, the rider must bring a personal care attendant or have someone available at the pickup and/or drop-off locations to assist. Personal care attendants, including facility staff, may only provide onboard assistance to an OC access rider with driver approval. OC access driver expectations. OCTA wants all riders to have a safe and enjoyable ride while traveling on OC access. Your OC access driver's duty is to provide safe and reliable transportation and treat riders with dignity and respect. For your benefit, we would like you to know what tasks your OC access driver can and cannot perform. The ADA does allow personal care attendants, PCAs, to travel with you at no additional fee. The chart on the following page shows the tasks a driver is able to perform. Assistance with the lift and/or ramp. Driver: yes. PCA: no. Assistance with boarding and alighting. Driver: yes. PCA: yes. Securing the wheelchair and occupant. Driver: yes. PCA: no. Assistance with seatbelts. Driver: yes. PCA: yes. Assistance with the use of oxygen or other medical equipment, administering medication, or helping with personal needs. Driver: no. PCA: yes. Enter rider's residence or the location where the riders are being picked up and/or dropped off. Driver: no. PCA: yes. Assume the controls of powered wheelchairs. Driver: no. PCA: yes. Provide attendant-type service such as reaching into purse/pocket to collect the fare, lift the customer out of his/her mobility device, remain with the rider who, due to his/her disability, cannot be left alone without an attendant. Driver. No. PCA. Yes. Required to assist riders with packages or shopping carts. Driver. No. PCA. Yes. Take charge of a rider's service animal. Driver. No. PCA. Yes. Know the disability of the customer. Driver. No. PCA. Yes. Rider Conduct Policy. Rules of conduct. Riders must be respectful and courteous to drivers and others on board at all times. To help ensure the safety, security, and comfort of OC Access riders and drivers, violent, illegal, or disruptive conduct is not allowed in and around vehicles and transit facilities. OCTA has developed policies for addressing riders whose conduct interferes with the safe operation of OC Access vehicles. Riders must comply with the following operating requirements and rules of conduct. The full fare must be paid upon boarding. No abusive, threatening, or obscene language or behavior, including sexual harassment toward riders, drivers, or other OC Access service employees. Seat belts must remain fastened at all times. Eating and drinking is not allowed on OC Access unless needed due to a disability or for medical reasons. Smoking and vaping on OC Access vehicles are prohibited. The use of alcoholic beverages and illegal drugs or riding under the influence of intoxicating alcohol or drugs is prohibited. Hazardous materials, weapons of any kind, explosives, corrosive liquids, and flammable materials are not allowed on OC Access vehicles. The use of electronic equipment, music, games, etc., shall be with headphones and kept at a low enough volume so as not to be heard by and/or disturb other riders. Riders must not create unsafe situations on OC Access vehicles and must maintain an acceptable standard of cleanliness. Exposed body fluids and/or blood-borne pathogens are not permitted. Riders shall not operate or tamper with any equipment while on the vehicle. This includes operation of the lift and attempts to remove mobility device tie-downs or seatbelts. Strollers and folding carts must be folded and stowed to avoid blocking the aisle or causing injury to riders on the vehicle. Be respectful of service animals and refrain from petting them without the permission of the owner. Trash shall be disposed of properly both on and around the vehicle. Parents or accompanying adults traveling with children shall maintain control during the ride. Head, arms, and other body parts must be kept inside the vehicle. Objects may not be thrown from the windows. All vehicles are equipped with cameras, and vehicle occupants are subject to video and audio recording for the safety of all riders. OC Access will work with parents, personal care attendants, school or employment personnel, or anyone immediately involved with the rider to educate that rider on appropriate behavior aboard OC Access vehicles. Denying services to riders. 49 CFR, Part 37, Section 37.5 H of the ADA allows transit agencies to refuse service to anyone engaging in violent, seriously disruptive, or illegal conduct, or represents a direct threat to the health and safety of others. Therefore, riders who engage in such conduct may be subject to immediate and indefinite suspension from receiving OC access services. Riders may also be subject to criminal prosecution, which may include fines. Riders who violate rules of courtesy and conduct or who engage in any activity that disrupts the safe or effective operation may be subject to penalties up to and including suspension from OC access. Any rider who is suspended from service will be notified in writing and will be given an opportunity to appeal the suspension following the OC access appeals process. Similarly, personal care attendants or guests who violate rules of courtesy and conduct, engage in any activity that disrupts the safe and effective operation of OC access services, engage in physical abuse, or cause physical injury to another rider and/or the driver, or engage in other illegal activities may be subject to immediate and indefinite suspension from riding OC access. Personal care attendants and guests may also be subject to criminal prosecution, which may include fines. Service suspension. All incidents will be investigated completely. Upon determination of outcome, the following service suspension may apply. First offense. Depending on the severity of the offense, it may warrant a verbal and/or written warning or a 7-day service suspension. Second offense, 14-day suspension. Third offense, 21-day suspension. Fourth offense, 28-day suspension, maximum. Depending on the severity of the misconduct, OC Access reserves the right to warrant an indefinite suspension of service. OCTA's customer conduct policy can be found at www.octa.net/customer conduct. Additional OC Access information. Visitor policy. Living outside of Orange County. 49 CFR, Part 37, Section 37.127 of the ADA requires that OC Access provided complimentary paratransit service to eligible individuals who reside outside of Orange County. Visitors will be provided use of OC Access for 21 days within a 365-day period. The following elements must be met. Individuals may use the service if they are unable to use accessible fixed-route transportation services due to disability-related functional limitations. If the individual presents documentation of ADA paratransit eligibility from their home jurisdiction. Self-certification. Visitors who do not have ADA paratransit eligibility in another jurisdiction must provide proof of residency outside of Orange County. Proof of disability. If the visitor's disability is not apparent, e.g., cognitive disability, cardiac condition, etc., proof of disability must be provided, for example, letter from a medical professional. OC Access will approve visitor status within 24 hours of receipt of all required documentation. For more information about the OC Access visitor policy or to become a registered visitor in Orange County, please call 714-560-5956 or email accesseligibility@octa.net. Transferring to out-of-county ADA paratransit providers. OC Access riders can transfer directly to Los Angeles County only. Riders may contact Access Services, the Los Angeles County provider of ADA paratransit services, by calling 800-827-0829. Frequently used Los Angeles County transfer points include Brea Mall, at the Spa at the Glen or upper-level food court. Buena Park Mall, main entrance. Disneyland Anaheim, East Shuttle at 1313 South Harbor Boulevard. Knott's Berry Farm, Crescent or Grand, or at Ticket Booth. Long Beach VA Hospital, Building 126, Main Entrance. Riders may contact other neighboring counties to learn about their ADA paratransit services using the information below. OC Access does not, however, provide transfers to Riverside, San Diego, or San Bernardino counties. Riverside County, phone number 800-795-7887. San Diego County, North, phone number 760-726-1111. San Diego County, South, phone number 844-299-6326. San Bernardino County, phone number 800-990-2404. Lost and found. OC Access riders who may have lost an item on a vehicle must complete an OCTA Lost Property Inquiry Form. Email OCTA Lost and Found at lostandfound@octa.net or call 714-560-5934. Lost and Found staff will email or call the rider if the item has been found. When emailing or calling, please have the following information ready. Detailed description of the item. Date, time, and ride information, driver name, vehicle number, etc. A photo ID issued from a recognized governmental agency will be required to claim any found items. Hours, Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and 1:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Friday, pickup by appointment only. For calls outside of normal business hours, please leave a voice message and a representative will return your call. All customers must have a confirmed claim number before visiting Lost and Found. OCTA Lost and Found will be closed on the following holidays: New Year's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day. Sharing your opinion about OC Access. Filing a complaint or commending an OC Access employee. Specific details help OC Access thoroughly address rider comments or suggestions. When calling OCTA's Customer Relations Department, riders should include the following information regarding their experience: full name, address, and telephone number. Date and time of incident or experience. Vehicle number and/or driver name if applicable. Reservation operator's name or other employee name if concerning a telephone conversation. Detailed explanation of the incident, suggestion, or commendation. Please call OCTA's Customer Relations Department to share any comments/complaints about OC Access. Phone 800-636-7433. Hours 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. OCTA's Customer Information Center will be closed on the following holidays: New Year's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving Day. FTA toll-free telephone numbers and contact information. In an effort to support the Federal Transit Administration's FTA goal to increase their outreach to individuals having difficulty accessing public transportation, OC Access has listed FTA toll-free telephone numbers for riders and community advocates to call with concerns regarding public transit accessibility. Visit FTA's website at www.transit.dot.gov or email at www.transit.dot.gov or contact FTA headquarters at the following addresses and phone numbers. Federal Transit Administration, 1200 New Jersey Avenue Southeast, Washington, D.C. 20590. Phone number 202-366-4043. DOT Customer Service Center. Phone 202-366-4000. Hours 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, Eastern Time, excluding federal holidays. For questions or additional information about OC Access, please contact OC Access at 877-628-2232. We look forward to serving our riders. More transportation options in Orange County. Consider your transportation options. Riders have several other transportation options that are more flexible, convenient, and less expensive than using OC Access. OC Bus Reduced Fare. Since OC Bus runs on a regular schedule and does not require a reservation, it is convenient and more flexible than OC Access. OC Access riders and personal care attendants assisting OC Access riders may ride local fixed-route bus service for a fare of 25 cents per boarding per person. For more information, please call the Reduced Fare Department at 714-560-5596. All OC Bus vehicles are accessible to people with disabilities. OC Bus Transit Training Program. Phone 888-878-7099. Website www.ocbus.com/transit training. The OC Bus Transit Training Program offers free training on using OC Bus. The training program equips individuals with the skills needed to safely and independently navigate the public bus system and fosters greater mobility. One-on-one, small group, and large group training are available. All training is free, and participants who complete training will receive a free OC Bus Pass. In addition to English, travel training is provided in multiple languages, including Spanish, Vietnamese, Korean, and Mandarin. Same-day service. OC Access offers a premium same-day service to OC Access eligible riders. OCTA subsidizes up to 5 miles for a same-day ride. Riders pay the OC Access base fare of $3.60 for a 5-mile ride. Any additional costs above the 5-mile ride are paid by the OC Access eligible rider. Please call OC Access reservations at 877-628-2232 or visit www.octa.net/bus/OC-access-service/same-day-taxi for more details. Senior Non-Emergency Medical Transportation. SNEMT. Phone 800-510-2020. The Orange County Office on Aging provides senior non-emergency medical transportation, SNEMT. This program provides transportation to older adults who need low-cost transportation to and from medical appointments, dentists, therapies, exercise programs, testing, and other health-related rides. Dale McIntosh Center. Phone 714-621-3300. Website www.dalemc.org. The mission of the Dale McIntosh Center is access and equity by and for people with disabilities and older adults. 211 Orange County. Phone 211. Website www.211ride.org. 211 Orange County, 211 OC, is a free, confidential, and comprehensive referral service that connects residents to essential transportation, health, and human services across Orange County. 211 OC also provides the online Find a Ride web tool www.211ride.org that allows users to search for transportation resources based on their individual needs. Please note that 211 Ride provides information about available services but does not offer booking services. Senior Mobility Programs. Phone 714-560-5596. The Senior Mobility Program, SMP, offers transportation alternatives for seniors over 60 years of age in addition to local fixed-route bus and ADA paratransit, OC Access services. OCTA provides funding to 32 cities and 3 nonprofit agencies for the Senior Mobility Program. Each city and agency designs a transportation program that best fits the unique needs of its senior community. To use this program, users must be 60 years old or older and a resident of that city. To view a description of each city and agency's program, please visit www.octa.net/SMP and scroll towards the bottom of the page to access information for each city. Services and costs vary by city. OCTA, OC Access. The end.